Notre Dame added a commitment from Grayson McKeogh from LaSalle College. 6'7", 280 pounds, the nation's number 278 overall player, number 21 offensive tackle on 3. Has about 100 spots higher in the national rankings, 5 spots higher in the position rankings. Notre Dame beating up on your buddy James Franklin, Tim. Penn State is pissed about Grayson McKeogh going to Notre Dame. So let's pop on the film, then we'll talk about his recruitment. Tim, how excited are you about this get for the Irish?
Very excited. Are you kidding me? Very excited. I'm so excited. I'm mad that you and Kyle did a damn video earlier, so that kind of ticks me off. So, yeah, I mean, I got my notes here. I was excited to watch this kid play. Super talented. The more you really watch him, at first you're like, yeah, he's a tall, skinny guy, moving. Then you really dive into it, and he's a lot of fun. You know me with offensive linemen, it's all about strike, leverage, and a finish, and definitely strikes. He's violent as could be. Very violent, really violent. This is my favorite play right here at the DN. How tall is this guy? He looks like he's 7'3" out there at playing DN against those guys. So that's a lot of fun to watch. His leverage, the thing that I truly, truly love. So I'm going to go full commitment mode on us right here, a little video, is his ability to plant and read. Or look at that finish right there. I love that, getting out in space. But his ability to plant. And what I'm looking for is he has a counter. And what I mean by that is if you're sliding off of where he's moving, this guy is athletic enough to redirect, plant his foot, and be able to slide back into position to win his play side gap leverage, his aiming points as an offensive tackle. So he's got some amazing skills already that you could see he's naturally going to grow into. And Mike, this guy, I mean, he's going to be a legit 6'7", 315, 320 pounds. He just is. He's huge.
Yeah.
He's a massive guy. His playing defensive line is, look at that. Oh my God, just rewind that, please. 10 seconds. It's like that strike, the one with the drone. Yeah, look at this. Look at this step, and then boom, be able to hit and power and stay engaged and bury you 8 yards downfield. Look at that. That's when Marcus Freeman talks about violence, that's violence right there. So he wins his play side gap, locks him out, and just absolute buries this guy. So, you start watching him and you just see like a tall, power forward, 6'7" in the box, basketball player, an athlete, tremendous movement skills. And he's a lot of fun. It's interesting. He's not as fast as Emil Wagner, but his skill level, the way he redirects, was a lot like Emil. Emil was tall, skinny, obviously when he committed to ND. So a lot of this reminded me of that. Really tall, needs to get lower on a bunch of these plays, but I think that's just going to come naturally because he's so damn tall. But nice, man. And the other thing is, watching as an old line coach is just locking his arms out. This guy's wingspan's got to be freakish. So once he learns to get that leverage and get those elbows locked out, I mean, God, how does this guy? He's on par with the offensive tackles who've signed the last couple of years.
Yeah.
He really is. God, keep down somebody. Go ahead and talk about a few things.
Tim, well, I got a question. Is he I'll just let you kind of dish on this, but is he get your ass kicked on scout team, eat some pancakes, we'll see you in a couple years?
Yes. I mean, here it is. I put my notes down because I even went back and rewatched Styles Prescott. And,
of course you did, Tim.
Yeah, I did. I have no life. My God, no life. I got to get out more.
And you have 3 kids.
I know, exactly. You got to get out more. I had softball, baseball. I got 12 different things going on. But and Matty Augustine, just as an athlete, he is on par with them without a doubt athletically, because both those guys were obviously recruited to be true offensive tackle, left tackle type candidates. And Grayson has those same traits and ability as those guys. So, and then I have not studied his offer. So today, obviously when you and I were talking about the show, I went and looked at his offers. Dude, everyone started coming after this guy in the last couple of months. Everybody. Bama, Ohio State, obviously Penn State, Notre Dame, but it's like just
Texas,
down
yeah.
the list of guys that came after him. So that was very, very exciting to see the amount of elite programs going through that spring, late winter evaluation period. And like, man, we love this guy. And because what you see is as a natural tackle.
Yeah.
Exactly. A guy, hey, go eat, enjoy your steak and mashed potatoes, lift like crazy, and we're going to see you when you're 312 pounds. And that's what he's going to be in about 18 months after lifting at Notre Dame.
Yeah, I think Penn State kind of felt like they had a hidden gem early on in the cycle, and then he blew up, and then they were probably ticked. And I think as of before he called and told Penn State that he's committing to Notre Dame, which if today's Wednesday, as we were recording this live, of course, you're watching back on YouTube, might be a different day, but I think he told them on Tuesday. I think Tuesday morning or early afternoon. And yeah, Penn State not very happy. They thought they had that one. So let me talk about his development real quick, Tim. I'm going to read an article or part of an article that Kyle Kelly wrote on McKeogh. He said before McHugh's junior year, he only held offers from Duke and Syracuse. So very early on, just a couple offers. Gained 100 pounds since his sophomore year of high school. Combined with a standout junior season, he got first team All-State honors. This rapidly elevated his profile. In November, Penn State offered, and then 14 other Power 4 programs. Notre Dame joined later on in the process, kind of like his second blow up, if you will. Has been compared to Joe Alt. Kyle also wrote, like McHugh, Alt was a late bloomer. Alt was, 240-pound tight end, and then became the number 5 pick in the NFL draft. And then McHugh said, they think I'm that guy and can turn out similar to someone like Joe Alt. So you talked about like the DN film, like this was someone McHugh who, very similar transformation. I don't know if you remember me saying this about Joe Alt when he was a high school recruit. Didn't we have Joe Alt on this show? Tim, didn't we, before the NFL draft?
Yeah, exactly.
And I remember telling Joe, like, when you were a recruit, I felt like every time I mentioned your name, you gained 5 pounds. And, he thought that was funny. I had probably told him that a few times before, but I feel like, McHugh is got a kind of similar trajectory. Like when you look at the OV offensive line visitors for Notre Dame this past weekend, it was McHugh and then the 4 commits. Grayson is definitely, the long, lean one who looks more like a tight end than he does an offensive tackle right now. And that's probably my favorite thing about him, Tim, is you want these high upside tackles, especially at Notre Dame when they can sit and develop for a couple years at minimum, like you always say, get your ass kicked on scout team. We'll see you in a few years and, let this kid become a freak.
That's college football offensive line 101. There's very few that could come in and play on day one. That's like, everyone's like, well, Will Black's going to start. You know how hard that is? It is like so hard as a true freshman. Even at the elite, obviously Notre Dame is, over the last 10 years is a top 5-6 when it comes to wins. But I'm talking, some of these national championship type teams, Will Campbell was a 5-star, went to LSU, top 5 pick in the NFL, and he started on day one. So it's not everyone does that. So it is extremely, extremely hard to do as a freshman. So there's nothing wrong with lifting, nothing wrong with eating, getting your butt kicked, as I like to say. Seriously, just like some grown men drive blocking you because you're not used to going against, a Bryce Young, Boubacar Traore in high school, and you're trying to kick step those guys as a freshman, you're going to get beat up. So it's just a natural progression. And Freeman's been talking about that, right? Choose hard. Damn it, choose hard means trying to learn how to play offensive line at an elite college football level. So, but he definitely, man, his traits, it's hard because obviously everyone's always going to be compared to Joe Alt, but Joe Alt was a freaking true tight. Joe Alt were 17 running 5-yard stick runs. Okay, so trying to compare those guys, but you look at the body. And I just like how Grayson has that whole. I'm sure he does track. I haven't even looked at. I look up everyone's track guys. I wonder if he did shop, but I mean, look at that. I know he's a basketball player, an ex-DN, tight end, and then obviously it's like, buddy, you're getting bigger, like you're saying, and you're going to play. And then as I like to say, I have no life, as you know. So one of the things I started watching in Grayson was some of his hands. His hands in pass blocking is just an ability to slide. And I'm a huge. I've watched the living heck out of Joe Thomas over the years. Obviously, he's NFL Hall of Famer, left tackle, great one. Notre Dame recruited the heck out of him before he went to Wisconsin. But Joe Thomas is just his hand placement. Not that Grayson's Joe, but you start to see some of these traits, and he's still learning. And I think that's just what's so excited about this young man. And exciting, Mike. Heck, let's go to the offensive line class. It's 5 guys for crying out loud. So I love it.
It is. I mean, McKeogh joining Gregory Patrick, who is a swing offensive lineman, could really play any of the 5 positions. Sullivan Garvin, Ben Nichols, Tyler Merrill, all project as interior guys. I guess I wouldn't rule out tackle for Garvin or Merrill, but they're probably inside guys. Patrick being recruited as a tackle, you'll come here and then potentially could move inside. And there could. Tim, when's the last time we saw a 6-man offensive line class at Notre Dame? We'll get to that in a little bit, but that is very possible for this recruiting cycle.